Hi, I'm Kenzie. Welcome back to my podcast. If you are just joining, welcome. Today we will be talking about my 16th Little Bear VHS, Let's Play a Game. This VHS includes Simon Says, Marbles, Play Ball, and I Spy. First, let's talk about Simon Says. This episode starts out with Duck asking Cat if he would like to play with her, but Cat was sleeping. Duck thought not because his eye was open. Then Little Bear and Mitzi entered the scene. They were racing. They couldn't stop to talk to Duck. Everyone went to see Emily. They all huddled up. Duck tried to get in on the action. Everyone was wondering what game they should play. Little Bear suggested Simon Says, which was a wonderful game. But before they started, Owl wanted to know exactly what the rules were. Little Bear and Emily explained them. If one says Simon Says hop on one foot, then everybody has to hop on one foot. But if one doesn't say Simon Says, then you don't do what he says. You only do what Simon says. In order to figure out who was Simon, we had to pick somebody to be Simon. Since Little Bear picked the game, Emily would be Simon. Yeah, I know. I don't see how that's fair either. The game started out with everyone lined up except Duck. Emily didn't say Simon Says. So Emily said, Simon Says, get in the line, Duck. So she did. Then Emily told everyone to have their hands on their heads, to scratch their heads, and to scratch their noses. Cat and Owl were out because Simon didn't say to scratch their noses. Then Emily told Little Bear, Duck, and Mitzi to hop, to play leapfrog, to stand up, to shake their heads, and to stomp their feet. Mitzi and Duck were out because Simon didn't say to stomp their feet. Then it was Little Bear's turn to be Simon. He told everyone to swim like a fish, to be a shooting star, and to freeze. Everyone was out except Mitzi because Simon didn't say to freeze. Then it was Mitzi's turn to be Simon. She told everyone to sit on the ground. Then she told everyone to clap 3 times and to cross their arms, but they didn't because Simon didn't say so. Then she told everyone to close and open their eyes, to stand up, to shake their tails, to open their mouths, to stick out their tongues, to close their mouths, and to throw away the key. They were really good. Then Mitzi told everyone to open their mouths again. Everyone was out except for Duck because Simon didn't say to open their mouths again. Then it was Duck's turn to be Simon right after Mitzi told her to open her mouth. The thing was, Duck didn't know what to do. She couldn't think of anything. After some thinking, she told everyone to nod their heads. They were all out because Simon didn't say so, even though she kind of did. Owl was getting tired of the game, but Duck told everyone to line up. She was impressed. Then she told everyone to turn left. She was even more impressed. Then she told everyone to follow the leader, to take 2 steps backwards, to keep marching, to yawn, to do jumping jacks, to laugh, and to cry. At that point, everyone was getting tired, so Mother Bear came out just in time. She had milk and cookies for everyone. What a great game of Simon Says it was. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode was a fun episode. Not only is it fun, but it's also cool to play along with the episode. Wasn't it impressive to hear all the actions I said too? All in all, it's a fun episode. Now let's talk about marbles. This episode starts out with Little Bear looking for something through stuff that Father Bear likes to keep. You never know what might come in handy someday. Soon, Little Bear found some old marbles from when Father Bear was young. The scene transitions to Father Bear drawing a circle in the dirt and teaching Little Bear how to play marbles. All he had to do is knock the marble out of the circle. Then he gets to keep it. Father Bear taught Little Bear how to shoot. Arms straight as still as stone, line it up, one eye alone, snap your thumb, marble is gone. Little Bear thought Father Bear's technique was interesting. He started practicing, but he was having trouble. It was easier just to roll the marbles. Then Duck and Cat entered the scene. So did Mitzi and Tutu. Mitzi was a whiz at naming marbles. She saw a cat's eye, a cleary, a flame, and a swirly. Little Bear wondered what game of marbles they should play. Mitzi suggested straight shoot keepsies. No sidearm skippers, bouncers, or wickwacks, whatever those were. And so the game of marbles had begun. Cat went first. He won one. Little Bear went next. He missed. Mitzi went after him. She got one too. Duck was about to go next, but Tutu took her marble. She chased after her. Cat decided to go again. He missed. Little Bear went next. He missed again. So close, too. Mitzi won again and won another marble. It turned out she won all the marbles. Little Bear wanted to play another game, but Mitzi didn't. The thing was, the marbles were hers now because Little Bear agreed they were playing for keepsies. As Little Bear was realizing what he had done, Duck had retrieved her marble. She tried to tell Mitzi that the marbles were Little Bear's, but Mitzi just stuck with keepsies because everyone agreed. Little Bear didn't hear her. She said so much stuff at once. Then Duck gave Little Bear her marble, and Mitzi put her marble in the center of the circle. Then Little Bear remembered what Father Bear taught him, and the marble was almost out of the circle. It was just on the line. Then he said that last shot on Lindsay's gets another chance. So Mitzi gave him another marble, and he shot the marble out of the circle. The game continued with Little Bear winning and Mitzi losing. Little Bear won all the marbles back. Then Mitzi apologized for sneaking keepsies in the game. Little Bear forgave her and said that anyone who knows how to play marbles knows you play for keepsies unless you're playing with your best friends. Then Little Bear gave each of his friends a marble to keep. Then Tutu took Duck's marble again, and she chased her to get it back. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode taught me that Mitzi is really good at marbles, and so is Little Bear. It even taught me something else. If you're going to play for keepsies, ask first. I mean, your friends might not know what keepsies are, or sidearms, skippers, bouncers, or wick-wacks. All in all, it's a good episode. Now let's talk about play ball. This episode starts out with Little Bear searching for something, his favorite ball. He checked under his bed, inside his toy chest, and even in the living room chair. It was no use. It was gone. Little Bear was frustrated. Mother Bear then asked him where he last played with it. Yesterday he was showing it to Emily, so he might have left the ball at Emily's house. He went to see. All of Little Bear's friends were playing with his favorite ball. Little Bear grabbed it from Cat. Then Emily entered the scene wearing a baseball uniform. Everyone was going to play baseball, but Emily didn't even ask Little Bear if she could use his favorite ball. It turned out he did mind. Little Bear was grumpy. He told Emily she looked like a boy with the baseball uniform. That's when she got grumpy too. Owl figured they were having a spat. Then Little Bear reluctantly said they can play baseball. Owl told everyone the ground rules. There was only one base and that's first base, and the tree was first base. The tree was also where Owl will sit and be the umpire who yells, "You're out!" They have 3 strikes at the ball and then they're out. If one hits the ball, he or she had to run to the tree and then back to home plate. If one hits the ball and somebody catches it, that's a fly ball and he or she is out. If one hits the ball past the big rock, that's a home run. Duck was trying to figure out the rules the whole time. After Owl was finished saying the rules, the scene transitions to Hen up at bat. Cat was the pitcher. He threw a knuckleball at Hen. Strike 1. Cat threw the ball again and Hen hit a foul ball. Strike 2. Cat threw the ball yet again and Hen hit it. She ran to first base. Emily and Little Bear called for the ball, but they bumped into each other and the ball landed on the ground. They were arguing over who called for the ball first while Hen ran to home. She was safe. Then it was Emily's turn to bat. Cat threw the ball and Emily hit it. Little Bear caught it. Emily was out. She went over to Little Bear to tell him that it was a good catch he did. Excuse me. Little Bear thanked her. Then it was Little Bear's turn to bat. Cat threw the ball and Little Bear missed. Strike 1. Then Cat threw a curveball and Little Bear hit it. He was safe at first base. Then it was Duck's turn to bat. Cat threw the ball and Duck hit it. The ball went high and Duck literally flew home. Little Bear was seen at home plate. He was safe. Then he and Emily had to talk about who hit the ball better. Then Little Bear apologized for being a grumpy bear. Emily apologized for getting grumpy too. Little Bear then complimented on Emily's uniform. She thanked him and gave him her cap. Then it was Cat's turn to bat and Little Bear was the pitcher and was about to pitch with his favorite ball. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode didn't feel like a story at all. It just felt like the characters were playing one of our favorite childhood games the whole time, of which I like. I mean, the episode does start out with Little Bear searching for his favorite ball, but after a while, that's where all the action comes to play. All the baseball action. Also, when Emily went to Little Bear to tell him what a good catch he did, you could almost tell that she was shocked and thought that she would say, "Why would you catch that?" But nope, she kept calm, which is good. All in all, it's a good episode. Now let's talk about I Spy. This episode starts out with Little Bear, Duck, Cat, and Mitzi in a hammock. They were playing I Spy. It was Duck's turn. She spied with her little eye something orange. There were a lot of things that were orange, but after a while, Little Bear guessed correctly that Duck spied on her beak. And then it was Little Bear's turn. He spied with his little eyes something green and skinny. Lots of things were green, but after a while, Cat guessed correctly that Little Bear spied on no feet. Then it was Cat's turn, but he was nowhere to be found in the hammock. He was hiding and said that he spied with his little eyes small umbrellas. Everyone went to search. After a while, No Feet guessed correctly that Cat spied on the mushrooms. They looked like small umbrellas. Cat was hiding again. Next he spied with his little eyes something with a big head and long legs. All of a sudden, Duck got caught in the pumpkin vines. That's when Little Bear showed her a big head with long legs. It was the pumpkins. Now all they had to do was find Cat. Little Bear had an idea. Everyone followed him, and they told Cat to find a boat in the sky, and he'll find them. It turned out they were hiding in the hammock. That was a boat in the sky. Little Bear told Cat what a great game it was. Then it was No Feet's turn. He spied with his little eyes something black. No one knew what it was. So No Feet told them it was the night. Excuse me again. Everyone stared at the moon. It was beautiful. And that's how the episode ends. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like this episode also didn't feel like a story. It just felt like the characters were playing a fun game of I Spy, which, don't get me wrong, is a fun game. All in all, it's still a good episode. So yeah, that's Let's Play a Game. If you would like to play again, just go back to the beginning of this episode. See you next time. Bye!